Welcome into this Wednesday edition. Blue Sky Live here with you this morning. Chase Parham and Neal McCready. He's in the Clark Ford studio. We'll get to them in 1 second. I appreciate Realtree as always, Realtree.com, for helping me out here at home for all your camo lifestyle and outdoor needs. Ole Miss baseball gets good news on Cade Townsend yesterday. We'll talk about that a little bit. Shoulder inflammation should not be a crazy long timetable, at least from the people that I have talked to regarding that. Ole Miss beats Austin Peay 9-5 last night, scoring all 9 runs in the first 3 innings, and then holding off the Governors, who had a 5-4 run, 4th inning, I believe, 3rd inning, something like that, last night at Swayze Fields. We get into those things, a few legal matters to discuss today as well, and then Texas beats NC State last night in a first 4 game. Two really competitive games last night. The 16 was fun. It got down to the last minute. And then Texas wins 68-66 over McNeese last night. Now maybe the Will Wade watch in Baton Rouge begins. Venezuela wins the World Baseball Classic, beating the Americans with a RBI double in the 9th inning after Bryce Harper thought he's going to be at least part of a hero, but instead the U.S. finishes second in the last 2 World Baseball Classics to Japan 3 years ago, and now Venezuela, who wins it last night. So all that more coming up today on the show. Show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout the state of Mississippi, up and on I-55 throughout North Mississippi as well, taking care of you. Also, a lot of Sweet Daddy's locations at many of those stops. They have your pulled pork, your brisket, your side items, your desserts, and plenty more. Also, your lunch specials, $5.69 any 2 sides, bread, and drink there from Blue Sky and the Oxford Exxon. Again, Neal's in the Clark Ford studio.
I am Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is the number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. There's no hassle. There's no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. That's hop into a Clark Ford today, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi, providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
A couple as we're getting going this morning, couple thank yous, and then one that is going to bleed into our first topic today. I participated in Empty Bowls yesterday. I posted on the message board 2 days ago. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Oxford Lafayette County Pantry, and they ran a bowls. It was completely filled up, huge crowd, made a lot of money for food insecurity here in Lafayette County. And credit and a quick thank you to Monty Oaks, who I've known a really long time, one of the chairs for Empty Bowls. So glad to be a part of that and appreciate everybody who participated again. Important thing, a lot of money raised there for that cause. And then last night, I was not at the baseball game. I had a previously scheduled panel with Walker Jones. We were talking to a bunch of PR students last night, and he was great. So I really appreciate Walker taking the time to do that with some students yesterday evening. Much appreciated, as not everybody says yes to those things. So I appreciate Walker for that. In relation to that, as I'm getting to, I knew that there probably was going to be some Cade Townsend news last night following the game. He had his imaging done on his shoulder. It was a shoulder the entire time. And I made a request, can we please get it earlier in the day because I have a conflict, and Mike put it out earlier, and I do appreciate that. Sent out a statement. He had mild irritation in the shoulder. He threw yesterday, felt really good. They're going to do some rehab. God, I hate even making guesses because it's the body and you never know, and we might not know the whole story. I don't see a long absence here. I talked to a couple other people who believe there's the possibility that he's back next weekend. Mike did not rule out this weekend last night, but I believe he was just sticking to a statement more than anything else and did not want to elaborate. That he gave a statement, and for now, that was as far as it sits. But relative to all the possibilities, really good news on Cade Townsend yesterday, because in the moment that did not look good, and instead it was cautious. It was the right thing. They absolutely did the right thing, and it looks like Ole Miss will get one of their weekend starters back sooner than later. Again, did not rule out this weekend, but I think next weekend is at least a a likely to a moderately likely possibility there for Ole Miss. But just thanks to Mike. I know he's got to win on scoreboards, and I get all that, and most of you guys probably don't care, but he's really good with the media, and I appreciate that greatly because that could have been a little bit of a pain last night. So
not really. He's not really good with media. That's not enough. He's phenomenal with media, and I know, like you said, and that's coming. Listen, that's not me kissing ass.
Yeah.
So before anybody comes in and goes, well, Chase is kissing his ass, I don't cover them. I don't go to many games. There's no reason for us to double team regular season coverage. He's great. It's frankly, it's a model. What's it, 25 years, 26 years?
Whatever year it is the year it is. Yeah, 26.
26 seasons of him running a program that frankly has allowed, and every AD who's ever worked there, including the one who's the AD now, would agree with this statement. He runs it in a way that he takes that off their table, takes it off their plate. They don't have to fool with it. He handles it. And he's great with media. He totally gets it. In a way that, frankly, a lot of coaches, and this isn't directed at anyone at Ole Miss, it's just in general, in a way that a lot of coaches should learn from, but won't. He has a marketing skill that, and you can say, well, he had to build a program, whatever. Okay, yeah, he's built it, and he keeps doing it. I mean, he does little things that.
He goes to first pitch banquets at 1A schools and things. I mean, it's just everything.
I mean, it's little things with the way they handle media that treat media like humans. Because I don't know whether it's because he thinks he'll get something out of it or whether it's just out of decency or both. But yeah, there's a lot that could be learned from it. And I mean, he was great to me last year when you left early and I had to pick up and finish basically the postseason for the old site. Look at me. I'm referring to the old site when I was at rebelgrove.com.
It doesn't exist anymore, so you can say the name. It's fine.
Yeah, there's a story there too. But yeah, I mean, I picked it up and he couldn't have been nicer to me. He could have completely ignored me, but he didn't. He was very nice, and he's great.
Yeah. So again, little thing, but not so little in the course of my day yesterday. So appreciate that. As far as the game, yeah, go ahead.
And real quick, they absolutely did the right thing with Cade Townsend, right? He felt something against Texas. I'm sure that was a game that Ole Miss really wanted to win, but they did the right thing. Like, hey, number one, you always just do the right thing for your players, any player, but when you have one that is getting the kind of draft hype that he is getting, and it appears to be very legitimate, you owe it to him, if at all possible, to prevent something happening that would dramatically decrease his draft value, because we're talking about serious money, life-changing money, potentially generational money that when you're one of the first 10 picks in the draft, that's you owe it to the young person and his family to be cautious, and they did the right thing and did the test and got the imaging, and now you proceed, in a methodical way, which is what they've kind of always done. And he probably, I have no idea when he'll pitch again, but he'll pitch again when he's ready to pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ton of money. I was going to look it up, but either way, it's in the multi-millions for the top 10 picks.
Yeah, you just you protect that if at all possible. And so when he felt something, they got him out of there, which was the smart thing to do. It was the right thing to do, and you shut him down and you make sure that he's good, and you get the imaging, and then you do the whatever rehab, however much of that is needed, whether it's a small amount or a large amount, and then you bring him back when you feel confident that he's ready to pitch, and more importantly, he feels confident that he's ready to pitch.
Yeah, MRI was clean. I guess I said that a minute ago, but that was the case. So MRI is clean. We'll see where it goes. State's a possibility. I mean, again, I was gonna write yesterday here are the options with him out, and frankly, he's just not out yet. So I wasn't really sure what to do with that because Mike's holding it. I mean, I will be very surprised if he starts on Friday, a day earlier than normal rest. I mean, I can't see this weekend being an option. I do think they're going to hand the ball to either Hudson Calhoun or Taylor Rabe on Friday night. That would be my clear guess.
Yeah, that would make sense, right? I mean, you'd be just logic tells you that. Logic tells you he's
hey, let's get ready for next Saturday. State at home next weekend. It's back to a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series.
Well, you would,
let's do
6 days after he felt something, and a few days after you did an MRI, and you used the word rehab in a statement. You're probably not throwing him out there on Friday.
And you had him throw yesterday to some degree, which was not a normal bullpen day.
Yeah, you just probably wait. You probably wait till at least next week. Again, you're protecting a young person and his family. You don't just recklessly hand him the ball and go throw.
Hayden in the streams is headed to Disney this weekend. Let me know if you have any questions there. He says Butch has my Tigers playing small ball. Auburn's pretty good. I think Auburn's good. They've spent money. Butch does a hell of a job, and I'll tell you, with the current situation of where offenses are in this league, I don't hate a little more of a mix of a small ball team that Kentucky and Auburn do if you can do it well and do it in a talented way. I really don't. I think that makes some sense. So anyway, Ole Miss last night, they beat up again Austin Peay 9-5, but the story remains the same. They got a pretty good outing out of Owen Hancock. Otherwise, nothing just crazy on the mound last night. Owen Kelly gave them 2 innings. I knew he would be probably on a pitch count. That was the 3rd time he had thrown in 5 days, but he throws 19 strikes out of 29 pitches, goes 2 scoreless there for the Rebels. And then Hancock gets the win, going 2.1 scoreless later in the game. Robertson and Waters both throwing very small pitch counts there. They'll be fine for the weekend. 8 pitches and 22 pitches, respectively. And Tristan Becerra did the work last night. 2 for 4, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He's up to 11 home runs on the season. He's up to 30-something RBIs on the year. He's having a hell of a year. And I think I said it yesterday. I think it's sustainable. I really do. I think it's sustainable. I think he is an engine here, and by God, they need him because we talk about runners in scoring position. We talk about all those different things, and as of this morning, Ole Miss hitting 280 as a team, 286 with runners in scoring position. So I guess technically it's keeping what Mike said as far as that's higher than the average in play, but it's pretty rough. Ole Miss had 5 hits total last night. They went 1 for 9 with 2 outs. They went 3 for 12 with runners on base. They went 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. 8 walks only turned into a couple extra runs outside of the home runs. Not ideal. It's a little bit of a weird spot right now for Ole Miss. So we'll see what comes to the weekend. And look, we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it plenty and around the horn tomorrow. Kentucky is an opportunity in a lot of ways. It's one of the weaker teams on your schedule. You're at home. You got to get to. It's absolutely paramount that Ole Miss get back to 500 in the league after this weekend. That matchup's a little weird, though, because they are going to bunt. They are going to steal on your ass. Ole Miss has not done a good job at all of holding runners, limiting stolen bases, and they're going to small ball you to death. They're going to test the parts of Ole Miss that are not playing well. This is an Achilles heel test for Ole Miss this weekend because they've kicked it around defensively a good bit. They have not managed situational defense very well. And Kentucky's going to run. They're going to run like crazy. They're going to move runners. They are going to play a different style of baseball than anybody you have seen to date so far. So just be aware of that. It's a strange spot for Ole Miss, even though it's a series you absolutely need to take this weekend. And yeah, it's where baseball is in so many ways. Drew saying it here, USA only scores 2 runs last night. Yeah, I think they had 2 hits through 7 innings. I mean, Team USA against Venezuela, it was homer or bust. They got one out of Bryce Harper to tie it. They ended up losing to Venezuela, but it's just a different game because in the pros they make all the normal plays. I mean, that's the That's the thing there. So, Kyle, thanks for the super chat. I'll get to your Venmo in a second too. He says, "What are the best set of earbuds, headphones for walking or exercising?" God, what are they called? I've stopped using them because I was losing them over and over, which is a ridiculous statement. The Shocks, that is my favorite one. If you're running or whatever, they're the jawbone things that go around your ear. You listen through your sinus cavities. I can't stand something really deep in my ear while I'm doing it at all. So it kind of hangs around the back of your ears. The Shocks are my favorite ones by far. They're pretty water resistant. They're sweat resistant. They don't mess with you at all in that way. So yeah, that would be my preference. You also ask a question there on Venmo. We'll get to that one second. Get it pulled up. Let's see. What's the difference in equipment that y'all carry to cover football, baseball, or basketball, battery pack, food, etc.? It's pretty standard. I do have a different bag sometimes for road versus home if it's a road baseball stadium, because I don't know how well equipped they're going to be at some places compared to in Oxford. So I'll have surge protectors sometimes, extra cords. I'll do things like that. I'll always have external chargers and things in both bags. But yeah, it differs more home road depending on what the sport is than necessarily the different sports. I don't know that matters, other than you're not going to take binoculars to basketball, but you'll take them to football and baseball. I guess you could take them to basketball, but I don't feel like they're needed there. But if you wanted to, I guess they could be in your bag. But yeah, it's more of that. And baseball is the only sport I will smuggle food into, because I can't eat chicken strips or a hamburger 37 times a year. So I will bring food a good bit to baseball, but the catering or just kind of managing around food at the other venues is pretty easy. Stacy, Costco has Shocks for a great price right now. There you go. A little discount on the Shocks as we are having the podcast this morning. So there's that. Let's see. Let's get into a little more news. I'm going to save. What am I saying? Which topic am I going to save for the next segment? We'll do this one right now. This was expected. I told you it was expected the day that it passed the House, but the NIL tax exemption bill dies in the Mississippi Senate. During a meeting on Tuesday, the Finance Committee for the Mississippi Senate elected not to take up the House-approved measure that allowed student-athletes to strike NIL deals without having to worry about paying state income taxes, a controversial proposal that garnered mixed reaction from the public. Obviously, House Bill 4014 passed in the House chamber 76-32, but a good bit of dissent publicly throughout the state, and then obviously in the Senate. Nobody that I talked to really expected it to get through the Senate. So again, this is not a shock. Jeremy England, a Republican from Van Cleve, a senator, he says, while I understand the House's intention in making our college universities more attractive to athletes during this new NIL era, it's my opinion that we should not provide additional special treatment for these athletes while the rest of Mississippians continue to pay income taxes. So it has died in committee, and for now, at least for the year, that's the end of that. There will be no new bill. I mean, on the back burner, gone. So again, not surprised, but that's where we are.
Score one for decency. I had this argument with some people. It's been fascinating. Hardcore sports fan who just wants, and I get it, 100%. This is not. It just doesn't. It doesn't sound right, and the fact that other states have done it doesn't make it right. It just makes those states wrong. I mean, I understand the argument for it. I understand that it doesn't affect many people. There's still the practicality of, so let me get this right. Some kid who makes $500,000 a year to play 1 year at your school is going to get a fairly significant, 3%, whatever, it's a tax break. While other tax-paying residents don't get the same break. How do you make that? Well, they win games. That's it. Okay, well, that person teaches young people. That person puts his life on the line fighting fires. I mean, just it's so if that were a debate class, right? You're like, please give me the side that is easy. The other one's just we really want to win at sports?
It's $15,000 off 500,000. That's 3%.
I mean, that's
It's not
15,000. Not nothing.
Yeah.
If somebody else makes $500,000 and you offer them $15,000 off, they're going to take it.
It's one of the things with,
right,
especially in a bill like this, and especially in the school choice thing, even more so, is when you know something's not actually getting to the governor's desk and you've got to vote on it and you're trying, it's not going to matter either way. Like, I'd be tempted if I'm in the legislature just to dissent half the time, or not dissent, but just leave and be absent and go, I'm not putting my stamp on this one way or the other because it's irrelevant, and I'm going to get pigeonholed in when I make a decision that then doesn't prove forward in any way. Like, I'm good. I had a breakfast that morning, something like that.
Had they used this as an impetus to go, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and eliminate state income tax now. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And they're not prepared for that in 1,000 different ways, but yeah.
Right. But yeah, but the whole, no, we're going to waive it for some of the higher income earners. I mean, imagine the revolt if you said, well, here's what we're going to do. Executives for companies who make more than $500,000, we're going to waive their state income tax. People would lose their minds, right? So, it was
the one thing that it wasn't apples to apples when it said, well, you give tax benefits to businesses. It's like, well, but it's not to businesses. If that were the case, then the Grove Collective wouldn't pay taxes, or the university wouldn't pay taxes. That's the equivalent, if there's equivalent. Not that, because when a business comes in and they hire 300 employees, the 300 employees still pay taxes.
Right.
Even though they're producing the goods that thus create whatever the economy is or whatever you're talking about. It just simply was a false equivalency, and everybody kind of knew that. And then the messaging sort of drained down from there. But anyway, it's dead. Probably we'll take it up again next year. We'll talk about it next year and say the same things when it comes back up, as we're 1 year closer to the income tax being dropped in Mississippi, state income tax. Again, it's a 10, 12-year system. The way it works is it's currently, I think, 3%, 3 or 4, and it drops by 0.5% maybe each year, 0.25% some years, something like that, all the way dwindling down to 0 in 2031, 2033. I knew this. I wrote it a couple weeks ago, but whatever it is, somewhere in that realm is when it completely disappears from the state of Mississippi. I'll hit the other thing going on here in a minute. Before we do that, let me tell you about Chicory Market, chicorymarket.com. They are located on North Lamar, Midtown Shopping Center. They got a couple cool things coming very soon. We'll get to that. But for now, let them take care of you with all great produce, fruits, vegetables. They got great vendors in there between Home Place Pastures, Johnson Hill Creamery, Vine Bottle Shop. A lot of specialty items that are not available anywhere else in Oxford. So whether you're stocking up for your Airbnb, your Verbo, coming in town for baseball weekends, great time to head on over to Chicory Market. They got a loyalty program for their customers. That's chicorymarket.com.
Ole Miss had a great portal season. You can too. Do you have an old IRA or 401k with a former employer? Is that money stuck with a bad team, not living up to its full potential? Put that account in the transfer portal. Let a fellow Rebel professionally manage it for you. Andrew Seago Wealth Management, will help build a playoff caliber portfolio just for you. Book a quick discovery call today at rebelsretire.com or 901-482-2676. Maybe you need tax savings strategies or retirement income planning. That's what they do every day. So give them a call, 901-482-2676, or book a discovery call online at rebelsretire.com. I'll have a mailbag out today at Rebels 24/7. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's, supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art Hayes can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously, so call and ask him how. 612-805-5929 or email art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com. We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Listen, it's going to get hot here soon. It kind of feels really mild now. I'm going to go out on a limb and go ahead and bet you any amount of money that it gets hot here in the next couple of months. You want to make sure that air conditioner is ready to roll. Maybe you just need a tune-up. Maybe you need a new unit. Whatever the case may be, now's the time to find out. You don't want to wait until that first week of June. It's 97 degrees. And then you discover that your AC's not up snuff. So get in touch with our friends at Comer and Southern. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, those areas, get in touch with Comer. 662-801-1777. If you live in Memphis, South Haven, Hernando, those areas, get in touch with Southern. 662-429-4429. It's the same names, different names, I should say, but the same great people, products, and services. And listen, if you live anywhere near this part of the country, those are the companies to call. The customer service is fantastic. They've been taking care of us for a long time. They'll take care of you as well. We're also brought to you by ENT Physicians of North Mississippi. As the largest private ENT practice in the state, their goal is simple: delivering fast, expert, comprehensive care for patients of all ages with ENT, allergy, sinus, dizziness, balance, and voice-related needs. With same-day or next-day appointments with ENT urgent care for that annoying cough or sore throat, in-office CT scans, and same-day allergy testing, and access to their comprehensive audiology team offering a full range of services. From hearing aids and custom hearing protection to potential surgical options, ENT Physicians of North Mississippi are committed to removing barriers to care. They now have new locations in New Albany and Starkville, in addition to Tupelo, Corinth, and more. Get more details at entnorthmississippi.com or call 662-844-6513.
Podcast also brought to you by AnySpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds up to 2 gigabits. That's nespark.com. AnySpark, get connected, stay local, and they're pretty soon putting out a new product that's going to allow you to stay connected to your Wi-Fi even when you're traveling around town. You can stay in your own Wi-Fi. There will be different routers and services to stay connected to your system as you move around Oxford and parts of the state of Mississippi. So more on that later in espark.com. For real says, I'm in the HVAC biz, and the wasp hornet problem is going to explode very soon, seeing them in crazy numbers. So I have not heard that. So it's getting into systems? What are we talking about for real? What's going on?
I hate wasp.
You hate wasp?
I'm scared to death of them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you have an attack as a kid or something?
Yeah, I've been attacked by them.
Oh, have you?
They hurt. Wasp hurt.
Oh. I mean, I've been stung by one, but I don't know that I've ever been swarmed or had a major incident.
You get some multiple wasp stings. You'll feel those.
You ever been stung by a hornet?
I don't know.
Yeah. What was it in My Girl? It was hornets, right?
I think so.
Wasn't that hornets?
I think that was hornets.
It's traumatic.
It's a
here's a coming of age kids movie. Bam. Thanks.
Yeah, and then the kid dies.
Yeah, I know. Little warning. Spoiler. Sorry. Maybe it came out 30 years ago. It's okay. They hide in the warm filter housing. You use brake cleaner. It's better. Okay?
Okay.
There you go. Obviously, Ole Miss in Mississippi, but really a case that has been followed around the country. There was a story in Vanity Fair, I think, about 10 days ago. But a federal judge has dismissed former University of Mississippi employee Lauren Stokes' First Amendment retaliation lawsuit against Chancellor Glenn Boyce, bringing an early end, at least for now, to one of the state's most closely watched campus speech disputes. In a March 16th opinion, U.S. District Judge Glenn Davidson ruled that Stokes failed to show her constitutional rights were violated and Boyce is entitled to qualified immunity. The court found the university had a substantial interest in maintaining the efficient operations of its departments, and that the widespread disruption caused by Stokes' social media post weighed against her claim. The ruling turns on the same legal framework that has defined the case from the outset. It's called the Supreme Court's Pickering-Connick balancing test, which weighs a public employee's speech rights against the government employer's interest in workplace efficiency. As previously reported by Magnolia Tribune, which is where I'm reading from, the defense emphasized that even Stokes' own complaint described a viral backlash, threats, and operational strain that could justify a university decision. She worked as an executive assistant in the development office and was fired September 11, 2025, less than 24 hours after resharing an Instagram post that criticized slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The post quickly drew national attention, millions of views, and so forth. According to court filings and prior reporting, she deleted the post, issued an apology the same day, but by the following morning, had been placed on leave. Court concluded that even assuming her speech touched on public issues, the scale of disruption tied to the post undermined her claim. Davidson also held that Stokes failed to demonstrate that any alleged constitutional violation was, quote, clearly established, shielding Boyce from liability in an individual capacity. They already are planning to appeal to the Fifth Circuit, arguing the ruling effectively allows a heckler's veto, quote, end quote, over protected speech. So for now, it is done, but I assume Attorney Allison Mills, on behalf of Stokes, will put an appeal in place. I think New Orleans decided to the Fifth Circuit, if I have that right. I'm not an expert, but for some reason that sounds right. But the case, for now, ends yesterday. That's where we are. So there's the news. I guess I'm not surprised. It's kind of what I had heard from people and whatnot. And in hindsight, I think even more again seemed likely because Boyce's attorneys and whatnot didn't even really put up a lot of defense of some of the injunction hearings that had been going on previously. It was sort of just let it play out, and they were standing by the documents that had been submitted as their only need for defense at that point. So it is done for now. We will see where it goes. We'll talk about it at the time that happens. But anyway,
that remains not even talking about that case specifically, just that entire situation in the days and weeks that followed. Fascinating, actually. There was a debate about that many people celebrated a young father's death. Crazy. Crazy.
The case was, had the case proceeded or had slightly different facts, I would have been pretty fascinated from it from a First Amendment standpoint. But it comes back to the whole same thing of the First Amendment is a protection of the government. It's not a protection of consequence. And that's so often confused.
Prosecution. Yeah,
yes.
She wasn't prosecuted. She wasn't jailed.
No.
That's the First Amendment protects you. The First Amendment allows you to publicly celebrate the murder of a young man. It does. As crazy as it is, you are protected from prosecution. OPD didn't round her up.
No, they protected her from people who were essentially threatening retaliation, which also is wrong.
Sure. Absolutely.
There were ridiculous things that did happen to them in the following days.
100%. And that's what the First Amendment is. It's one of the most
misunderstood.
That whole story remained months later.
It feels like there's a lot of tributaries to that I just haven't taken a dive down because it's odd.
I started down it one or 2 days and then stopped.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah.
Just kind of stopped. I realized I didn't have time to go down those pathways. There's some weird stuff around it for sure. I don't know what to I really don't know what to think.
I apologize to Tyler Siskey. He just pointed out we were not present at UFL Media Day. We were not. So I am sincerely sorry for our absence there with our cohort.
They get started next week, end of next week.
Isn't it next week?
Yeah.
4 Rebels on the team for the Birmingham Stallions. It's Matt Corral, Ryder Anderson, Mason Brooks, Isaac Ukwu.
Oh,
all on the roster there for the Stallions. 4 of them. That's true. I did not see what Sean Miller mentioned Ole Miss last night, guys. I did not see that. I watched, but I watched on mute, if I'm honest. I was really into the game, but I did not have the volume on.
It was a very light mention. It was his point was that the SEC prepared his team for that game. He talked about how the league is, I think he mentioned both Ole Miss and Oklahoma as teams that were playing like second weekend teams at the end of the season, which I completely agree with, by the way. I absolutely agree with that. I watched, and he said those teams just didn't put it together in time. I completely agree with Sean Miller's assertion there. 1,000,000%. It was the craziest part about Saturday when Ole Miss and Arkansas were just trading punches. I remember thinking to myself, I actually made a note of it so that I would write it in a column where if Ole Miss won, that it reminded me of last season's game between Ole Miss and Arkansas, which was a quarterfinal in the tournament, the Sean Padula three-pointer to win it. Actually, when Trevin Brazile missed the free throw, I was like, oh, my God, we're going to do this again. That's what I thought. When A.J. Storr took that shot, I thought, he's making this. And poor Trevin, I actually felt bad for Trevin Brazile, who had played a great game. I thought, my God, he is going to get raked over the coals for missing a free throw again. Because if you remember, a year ago, he missed 2 free throws that created the opening for Padula to win the game. He missed one, so instead of it being a 3-point game, it was a 2-point game. He made one of 2. I think he made the back end of the 2. And so AJ's 3 would have given Ole Miss a 1-point lead. But I was going to write that like a year ago, that looked like a game between 2 second weekend teams. And I was right a year ago. Both Ole Miss and Arkansas went to the Sweet 16. Frankly, both of them came very, very close to the Elite 8. And it looked like that type of game. And the night before, I watched the second half. Ole Miss had beaten Alabama. I was in the building. I like Porter Moser. And Arkansas is one of the teams that is fun to watch because of Darius Acuff. And I'm like, I'm here. I got a seat right over there. I ought to go watch. And so I did. I went and watched the second half of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and thought to myself, Oklahoma right now looks like a second weekend team. And so what Sean Miller said last night was that they'd played Oklahoma and Ole Miss late in the season, and both of those teams right now were playing like second weekend teams, and I agreed with him completely. I think he's right.
I left one out. Siski making known Snoop Connor also on the Stallions roster, so 5 Rebels on the Birmingham Stallions.
Did Ryder Anderson finish his career at Ole Miss? I can't remember.
Kind of felt like he left, didn't it? But, dude.
Feels like he finished his career somewhere else, but I could be off.
Indiana.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. There you
go. College Ole Miss 2017 to 2020, Indiana 2021.
Okay.
It's actually a question for Siski. I know states and whatnot matter and how y'all pick up players. When a guy plays some of career, does it work the same way? Like, how does that go? But Snoop Connor also on it.
Because now that's going to get really confusing if you have to do that. I mean, if a guy plays at 4 places, which place gets the benefit?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. So Indiana's where he finished.
So why is he considered a Rebel and not a Hoosier? Seriously.
I hope we'll find out in 10 or 15 seconds. I don't know. See what the offensive coordinator of the Birmingham Stallions says about it. Not his side of the ball.
Because if that's the case, Isaac Ukwu is a James Madison, not an Ole Miss.
It's true.
I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too, all these transfers.
He says it's where they finished, so they ended up with him despite it being out of territory, if you will.
So he's a Hoosier as far as the Birmingham Stallions and the UFL are concerned.
Siski said it's where they finished, killed us in college allocation. There you go.
Yeah, bet.
Okay. So you get Ukwu because he was a Rebel.
I'll just tell you who's not following these rules, who did not follow these rules, who cheated like crazy in the college allocation thing is the Louisville Kings. God almighty. Some of the stunts they pulled in putting their roster together are egregious. Unforgivable, frankly.
He said had to giraffe them. I mean this seriously because I just didn't see anything. I saw yesterday David Cutcliffe announcing his retirement. What was he doing? Was he doing some analyst work for somebody?
I think he was working as like a liaison between the coaches and the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I shrunk you. I don't know why. Hold on.
I have felt smaller at times lately anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was. It just completely went into an ant size there. I don't have it. I clicked on it and boom. 40 years, though, in football for David Cutcliffe. He started his career. Do you know what high school he coached at as his first job? It's in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, it was in Birmingham, right? Was it I can't remember the name of it. It was one of the Birmingham Jefferson County Public School System schools.
Birmingham Public School System, Birmingham, Alabama. That's correct.
For some reason, I want to say Jackson Olin, but I don't think that's right.
L. Fraser Banks High School.
Oh, okay, Banks.
L. Fraser Banks. That is true. They have 4A state championships in football in 1972 and 1973. He was there 76 to 79, and then there again in 80 and 81 as the head coach. And then a Tennessee assistant in 82. And he was in Tennessee, obviously, until Ole Miss hired him in 98. So he spent 16 years with the Vols. I don't know that I recalled that being that long of a career there.
Yeah, played a significant role in the recruitment of Peyton Manning.
Yes. Seen him around town a good bit. Obviously, Chris and the grandkids all in town here in Oxford.
Yeah.
Chris did a good job this past year. He had them
for sure
playing very well. Oh, let's see. 1 second. Oh, sorry. I was on the Texas thing. I got completely sidetracked. Yeah, Texas beats NC State last night. They hit a jumper with 1.1 seconds left to beat the Wolfpack 68-66 and move on. What?
Did you see the assistant coach run out on the floor?
Oh, no.
Could have easily gotten teed.
That would have been a problem.
Sean Miller lost his mind on the coach.
Did he really?
Oh, my God. Yeah, that coach, he probably woke up this morning with some. He probably didn't sleep last night.
They move on to play the 6-seed BYU Cougars on Thursday night in Portland.
Yeah.
More importantly,
there'll be NBA scouts at that game. Debzanta and Dylan Swain. There'll be some. It'll be like the Wednesday game. I looked up. Ole Miss was getting ready to play, and looked behind me, and there was Brad Stevens and Sam Presti. You're like, well, they're here for somebody. It was Swain.
Did you introduce yourself to Presti?
I did not. I did not. Other people, at least one other person did. I did not. I felt that would have. I don't know. I'm weird about stuff like that. It's like, well, I'm here on a media credential. I don't really belong in the stands speaking to someone.
He probably would have been pleasant.
He was pleasant to the one person I know.
Was he? But was he recognized by the general public much?
No. I
wouldn't think so. I can't tell you what it looks like.
It was him and Brad Stevens, and neither were wearing their team stuff. They were just wearing clothes. I recognized both of them immediately. Like, oh my God, that's two of the top executives in the whole NBA.
Mm-hmm. Brad Stevens, really interesting career. Fascinating what he's done.
Yeah, absolutely. Done a phenomenal job as an executive. Took Butler to within an inch of the national championship.
More importantly than Texas advancing, because I think they're going to lose to BYU, even though BYU has scuffled a little bit recently, is... Go ahead.
I think Texas wins.
Do you really?
I think Texas wins that game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will Wade watch in Baton Rouge? Is he potentially going back to the Tigers? It's been a very public talking point in LSU media the last week, 2 weeks, something like that. To the point of getting some details, I had Moscona on for a minute this morning, and he was talking about that Wade has had conversations with LSU to the point of he wants the McNeese State AD to come over and be essentially a general manager for the basketball program at LSU. That is one request or requirement that he's asking for there. LSU, I mean, we talked about it. 2 years ago, they completely punted on their basketball NIL on the program. I mean, nothing. Matt McMahon in 2024, 2025 had zero resources whatsoever. This past year, they bumped it up to like 9. I mean, it wasn't nothing. And it clearly did not work in every way. And it sort of feels like, just listening to that situation, that it's Wade or keep him is kind of where it seems to be leaning here. And that's not just from Matt. I've read some stuff too. It seems like it's, hey, can we go get Will Wade? Can we run it back? Can we do the same things? I will say the one thing here is LSU has had to be very creative with the way that they are funding a lot of their football NIL, and they are spending God knows what the final amount is going to be on this football program. Will Wade being your basketball coach when you've got to figure out how to allocate to every sport? And look, I've heard a little bit recently that the CSC thing is not, it's getting tougher. I know some other sports outside of football especially are really feeling, hey, what exactly are we going to get hit with here where it's not going to go through? I just don't know how LSU manages having a Will Wade, because Will Wade needs all the recruiting money. He's not going to out-coach everybody on the floor, but he's one hell of a recruiter. I don't know how you manage an athletics department when there is, to whatever the finite is, a finite amount of resources, and it's Kiffin, Wade, Mulkey, and Jay Johnson. Like, that's a lot of damn cooks in the kitchen fighting over it. And that's not counting the softball program that's eating up something, because they're ranked like number 4 in the country or some crap. Like, I just don't know how that works. It seems like in this world where people are at least de-emphasizing below a national level. I mean, you had the Oklahoma coach yesterday. The Oklahoma president or AD or somebody, maybe it's the new guy. He was saying that, I think he said 6 Oklahoma sports are funded outside the top 10 in the SEC. And that it's just the way and the reality of the world right now. I don't know how LSU, the math makes the math work if they hire Will Wade. I mean, they'll figure it out. But with everything I'm hearing about college athletics, it's a complete 180 that everyone else is doing. I don't know.
Yeah, this is one where you and I disagree, and Siski and I disagree. Respectfully disagree. We're not fighting over it. I just think you're going to see a lot of programs go, hey, we're going to do this and we'll beg for forgiveness later, and we don't really think anyone's going to do anything to us. And if you made me bet, I'd bet they're right, that nothing's going to happen. May get scolded, may get reprimanded. I don't think anyone's going to actually come take your rev share away. So my guess is that this has been out there for at least 2 months, this Will Wade thing. And so the fact that no one has just killed it and that it's still out there makes me think that there's at least a flame somewhere. Now, is it a big enough flame for him to make the move? I don't know. I don't know what LSU would owe Matt McMahon. I don't know what Will's salary requirement would be. I know that he was wildly popular there with a lot of people. I know that there are some people who have told him that you're crazy to go back there, that you run the risk of being the 4th sport. But as for the money, my guess is that, and I hate, honestly, I'm not going to name names, but I hate that I agree with some of the people that I agree with and disagree with the two of you on this, because I would have more fun at the party with the two of you. But I honestly kind of think you guys are wrong on this. I think this thing is, and I mean that respectfully, I think this thing is sustainable until it's not, and right now it is. And I think they'll find the money, and I don't really believe that anybody's really going to have the teeth to truly take money away from the kids once the money's in the kids' hands And I don't think they're really going to have the ability to go punish the schools and go, all right, we're taking away X percent of your rev share for next season. At which point they'll go, okay, well, we'll just find it in NIL. That seems to be the case pretty much around the country, is that at the end of the day, you just make promises of money and you scrounge around and you find it, and then you ultimately pay the kids what you promised that you'd pay them. And we all pretend that there's a real organized system in place. CSC, from what I've heard, is already way backed up. They're already completely in over their heads with how do you, and then again, how do you go about determining, this I'm told is a problem. How do you go about determining market value? How do you say, well, the offensive tackle at Texas A&M isn't worth a $200,000 endorsement agreement?
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you do
I don't have an answer. Siski in the stream right now says January of 2027 is coming faster than people think. The front loading going away will change things. He knows way more about than I do. I don't even have a comment. But I'm saying two things, and we'll come back after the break after I say this. Is one, in some ways, I just mean, unless you're literally taking tax dollars to do it, there is an amount of money that isn't sustainable for one school year over year over year. I mean, if you got to put up 10 million more for basketball all of a sudden at a school, I mean, it has to come from somewhere, number one. And two, It's anecdotal, but I do know some sports at multiple schools are changing how they are trying to get things run through the CSC because they are getting told no on deals from related entities, meaning companies that have a very documented standing with the university where it is clearly just doing it to do it for the heck of the sake. There's no doubt about that. That's what Siski says here. He goes, they'll let the $200K go as long as it doesn't come from a booster. They are creating, again, we're going to go to court, we're going to decide this, and we're going to do the whole shebang again. But that is where currently they are at least putting the line in the sand as it happens.
The kids in Nebraska are going to win the suit, man. They're going to win. I mean, you can't. If Smith Automotive wants to give Billy Bob Johnson $200,000, they're going to do it. I mean, like, you could say, okay, what's your market value as a reporter? And someone goes, okay, well, and I'm not even going to use a real number. And someone else comes back and goes, I'd pay him 3 times that. Well, guess what? You are now worth 3 times what you were making, because that's what someone will pay you. And that's just, now they might not get the ROI, and they might look back 3 years later and go, man, I can't.
Well, there is no ROI. That's not even in the conversation.
Right.
That's not even part of the discussion.
That's a company problem, not a player problem.
I would agree with you inside of an organization, though. I don't understand why a private organization can't make their own freaking rules. I can't go to Augusta and go, nope, you let me in the door or I'm going to sue. I mean, I don't get it.
But I'll answer this for you, because there's not enough discipline inside these programs, inside these conferences, inside college athletics. The people are too competitive. It means so much to so many people that it becomes emotional. And when you make emotional decisions, you make stupid decisions. There is no CBA. There's nothing. There's no document that sort of corrals this.
Yeah, I pray Siski is correct, and I'm wanting January 2027 to get here. That's where we are. So be back in a minute. We'll talk about it. Okay. All right. Does your home and auto insurance keep going up? Let the folks at the firm, a proud Liberty Mutual and Safeco Insurance agency partner, take a look. Founded by Ole Miss alum Brian Hayden, they service the entire Southeastern Conference. A team of licensed professionals review your insurance needs, put together coverages to protect you and your family without breaking the bank. That's 662-236-1101 or staff at thefirmsouth.com.
Arnett's Fine Jewelry is a 4th-generation jeweler. They're located in the old Lamons building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. It's getting close to graduation season. So if you're doing some graduation gifting For special people in your life, Lamons can take care of you. They've got everything you're looking for. Flexible bangles, I should say. I don't know how flexible a diamond would be. Diamond pendants, earrings. They get genuine stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and more. At Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler. It's baseball weekend this weekend. Kentucky coming in, Mississippi State next weekend. You want to make sure you get all your gear. The best Rebel gear in Oxford is at the College Corner, more than 4,000 square feet of it. You don't have to fight the traffic on the square or Jackson Avenue. Instead, you can stop by their location in the Oxford Commons. It's right across from Chick-fil-A. Plenty of parking. Their staff's going to have you in and out on your way to the Grove or Swayze in this case in no time with all the brands you know and love. Nike, Horn Legend, Champion, Antigua, just to name a few. You can also go to collegecornerstore.com. And, hey, if you're hanging out in the outfield over the weekend, you want to make sure you have some Coors in your cooler. Since its inception in 1873, Coors Banquet's been brewed in the same tradition of the original 150-year-old recipe. Banquet, crafted with 100% Rocky Mountain water. So when you are enjoying a banquet, you are drinking history. And when you work with Argent Welt's 401k advisory services, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com.
Podcast also brought to you by the Jackson Graber Group with GMFS Mortgage. John Graber in Oxford, local trusted mortgage lender right here in town. Help all home buyers with first home, new construction, refinances. Oxford High School, Ole Miss alum, local house processing, underwriting, servicing, and more. Local people that know your market taking care of you. Also big in the condo financing market. Buying a home, refinancing, or just have questions, gmfsmortgage.com/JGG 662-762-4502.
Before you move on, can I ask a question? I'm genuinely curious. I've heard other people in similar positions as you say what you just said. And I mean this with genuine curiosity. There's no hidden meaning in this question. You said you hope Siski's right and you look forward to January of 2027.
Yeah.
Why?
I've told you. I think we're the sport in its current stance. I get the crowds. I get all of it. I'm not discounting it. I understand. I think it's the guy who's running and feeling great that has a coronary artery blockage that he doesn't know yet. That's what I think. I think, like I said, I think the roots are dying and the tree looks healthy as hell up on the surface and is lush and green and no problems whatsoever, and it slowly just trickles up and trickles up and trickles up. I mean, I talked about it with Walker last night. We were discussing fan interest and the need to keep interest up because you need, corporations and donors and businesses and all this stuff financially pouring into you every year. And you have to make sure that ROI, that's the emotional ROI, maintains and how that happens. And again, I think you have two or three things that just simply have to be at their max level for this to operate. And if there is a break in the chain in any of those, then you have a major problem. And I do. I think we don't know it yet. But at some point, without some type of change, maybe it's a minor change. I'm not saying you got to overhaul the whole system, but some type of stoppage or plugging up the dam a little bit from just running continue to be wild. I do. I think we are seeing. I mean, I made these examples. I mean, there was a day where the newspaper was still pouring it out, but they had huge problems below the surface, and yet they were still spending money, and subscriber numbers were through the roof, and everybody went, "Oh, whoa!" The cash register there in Mobile and the whole thing, and yet, do what?
I missed those days.
Yeah, and then 18, 24 months later, boom.
Yeah, I talked to someone at the SEC tournament. I won't name the school. I won't name the person because we weren't off the record, but I think it was understood that we were sort of, I wasn't going to give these details away, but he said, we hit our donors. It's not Ole Miss. That's all I'll say. It was one of the other 15 schools. We hit our donors up so much is what he said. And he said, we are about to price out a lot of longtime fans who have supported our program for a long time. They've been in the same seats for 20 years, 30 years. And he said, we're about to take those seats away from them, essentially. And he said, it's dirty. But you need the money because it's so expensive to put a roster together. It's so expensive to keep things going. It's hard. Those are the decisions that people are having to make right now. The only thing I'll say is if you guys are right, in January of 2027, which is not far away, if there's this massive cost correction coming, the revolt from players and the agents, in quotes, that represent those players is going to be wild.
I mean, you're 100% right. I just don't have sympathy at all. I mean, none. I don't care. I mean, but you're inside a structure that does get a say at some point, or at least it should. I mean, I can't make CBS pay me 3 times more money because I just want to.
They've waived the right to a say. Yeah. The truth is, the schools. I mean, listen, I blame the schools. I don't blame the kids and their unscrupulous agents. I blame the schools. I blame the collectives, the everyone. I mean, they've let this get to this place. I mean, there's a complete lack of discipline. I mean,
it's also how every school is treating it so differently that's understood, and I get it. And then, inside the market, I mean, I'm pretty well sourced on this. I'm to the point I know I'm right. Like Arkansas, they have a good bit of baseball NIL and spend a bunch, but they don't allow their development people to raise money for baseball. The coaches have to do it themselves completely. They don't use the manpower from the department the way that Ole Miss would use Matt and Walker and Denson and his team to divvy out through all the sports. It's, hey, if you can find it, great, but we're not putting the man hours into you. Basically, they're putting them into basketball. And it's, hey, I think Matt Hobbs is the head recruiting guy at Arkansas for baseball. It's, hope you know some donors because it's on you, bud. If you get 3 or 4 million, congratulations.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I don't know the inner workings of there. I do that very clearly they have made a pretty strong commitment to men's basketball. Mm-hmm. Completely punted women's basketball, which is smart, frankly. And they've committed. They've made monster commitments to men's basketball, and it appears to be paying off. I mean, they went to the Sweet 16 last year. They have a strong chance to go to the Sweet 16 this year. They have a commitment from the Naismith Player of the Year coming in next year, a guard who's a lot of people think is better than Acuff, which is hard for me to imagine. But, I mean, Cal looks rejuvenated there. And, it's because he's been able to get players, and he's got everybody kind of pulling in one direction, which I don't think he had at the end of his tenure at Kentucky. Mm-hmm. By the way, Kyle Tucker, who now works with us, wrote a really good piece on Calipari, Kentucky to Arkansas rejuvenation. It's actually really good.
Kyle's great, and he is elite beyond elite when he's referencing Kentucky in any way.
Yeah, incredibly connected to Kentucky.
Great story in The Athletic this morning for anybody who needs the piece for the day. The tagline, muscular dystrophy took his mobility, his voice took him to the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's a story by Andrew Marchand about Chris Carino, the radio play-by-play voice of the Brooklyn Nets. It's kind of a great must-read for the day. Really, really good stuff. So while we're looking around the internet a little bit, let's see. Again tonight, Miami of Ohio and SMU. So the 31-1 Redhawks. A pretty important game for mid-majors tonight from a perception standpoint. You've got this Miami of Ohio team that went undefeated in the regular season. They get in the tournament in a play-in game by the skin of their teeth. And, last year in the NCAA tournament, we had very few upsets. And I think you're going to have very few upsets now, too. The money's just becoming such a discrepancy difference where you still can get the old team that stayed together, but the stay together part is the problem. They're not staying together. They're jumping for the the crazy prices that are available to you somewhere else. So it's where, and nobody's even talking about this today, really, but I'm going to spend 10 seconds on it, it's where the people that go, hey, we're going to move to a 76 team tournament. I get it's about money only, and we'll get to another story that's only about money in a second. But it's crazy when the people running college athletics go, we got to go to 76, we got to go to 76, and yet not a single other person wants it or cares at all. It's the administration and the man telling everybody else, no, you really want this. And they're going, no, we like the tournament how it is. We're good. No, good. Thanks. Moving on. No, really. Yeah, shut up. Like, it's just, it's asinine. It's asinine. Whatever. All right.
I'm one of the very few people that has no feelings on that topic at all. I've tried to get myself worked up over the jump to 76, and
I'm not really worked up. I just hate when the people are trying to benefit. They want to say out loud the reason, and you try to tell the constituents, no, you really want this, and here's why. And let's look at you and go, nah, we don't. Actually, thanks.
They want to add more play-in games.
Yeah, and I saw what one would a day would have looked like, and it was ridiculous, completely ridiculous. Prairie View Lehigh kicks you off 5:40, and then the Red Hawks and SMU 8:15 this evening for that.
We got asked earlier in the stream a long time ago about the baseball game last night. Did you have any thoughts?
It definitely was not DeRosa's best week or 2 weeks. Didn't play Gunnar Henderson last night. He was hitting .467 in the World Baseball Classic to date. Didn't bring in Mason there in the ninth in a tie game.
I'm not sure they could have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was he out of pitches?
The rumor is that the A's.
I thought I read he was available. Oh, the A's said no.
The rumor is the A's had not the A's. The Padres had said that he could only pitch in a closing situation, and that wasn't a closing situation.
Okay.
He didn't play Pete Crow Armstrong. He started Byron Buxton instead. I thought what was interesting to me, and I had it on TV too, and I was kind of watching, and then when what I had on TV one ended, I moved it over to TV one and tried to get myself into it. Was number one, the Venezuelan players really wanted to win that game. They were more, I don't know whether it's because more of them play winter ball than the American players do. They appeared to be more ramped up. You know, this is normally you kind of ramp up to a season, which I think the opener is a week from tonight. Then everybody else opens a week from tomorrow for the most part. They really wanted to win it, but even like Daniel Palencia, who finished the game, he could only pitch last night in a save situation, and he had a limited number of pitches. That was the agreement with the Cubs. So I was surprised, to be honest. I don't know why I get this way. I'm very clearly shifting as a person as it pertains to sports and my own personal fandom. I was surprised people were so worked up about this last night.
Were you really?
I was. I was genuinely kind of stunned. I was like, people are really emotional about this. I still think of that as kind of an exhibition.
I think the social media world, and you can say whether this is a positive or negative, I think they connect us in a more emotional way on Olympic team, national things like this. And I think that creates more juice to the situation. I mean, I think it's not about the one game. It's more the collective. I think there is a frustration that in 2 World Baseball Classics you finished second and you were a minus 265 favorite last night in that game. I do think there is like a what the hell to it.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. Oh, so you think it's a gambling thing?
No. I don't mean even that. I just mean you're a heavy favorite and we can't win the freaking baseball thing against Venezuela. Like, really? I mean, I just...
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's why I think that, though.
Okay, sure.
You're gauging that off what, the internet?
Yeah,
right.
It's all I have
Okay.
to gauge. Yeah.
Well, the people that don't care, you're not going to hear from on the internet because they're not responding on the internet. Thus, you're only seeing reactions that have emotion because everybody else is not paying attention.
That's a good point.
Like most people are going to get there and go, "Hey, I just didn't care." Moving on. So I mean, it's a flawed response, if you will.
It was a good baseball game. It was what you would expect kind of out of an all-star game, really, where the pitchers are you're seeing the best pitchers. The hitters aren't completely ready yet. Wasn't a lot of great at-bats. Harper's was. I mean, that was a pretty dramatic moment. I mean, he's an all-time legendary player. But I don't know. I mean, I watched it, and I'm proud to be an American and all of those things. I mean, I genuinely am. I loved but I didn't have anywhere near the same emotional investment that I had in the hockey game, because it was the Olympics. That was like meant something. To me, the WBC is still just like this.
I guess in some ways, what the hell's the difference, though? I mean, it's both an amateur exhibition. I mean, not an amateur, but it's both an exhibition.
I guess one is, at least for me, I'm just speaking for me. I'm not about to try to speak for others. For me, the Olympics have always been there, and the WBC still feels somewhat new, and people spend their lives training for the Olympics. I don't know that too many major leaguers, like I saw a lot of people mad at Tarek Skubal for not pitching, and I couldn't. I tried this morning. I thought this thought exercise with myself this morning. I was like, okay, see if you can make yourself get worked up about this. And I couldn't even begin to do it, because it's like he's going to make generational money at the end of this year. Once the lockout or strike's over, someone's going to pay him $1 gazillion. Well, he can't risk that pitching before he's ready, right?
All right, I got a thought. Let's come back. We'll do it. All right, because I want to stay on this for a second. I think it's kind of funny. All right, Horn Legend, hornlegend.com, place to get your sports shirts, your polos. The weather's going to warm up, as Neil said earlier about HVACs. It goes for your wardrobe as well. Horn Legend, the place to go. Click MPW Digital on the drop down. We would greatly appreciate that. That's sponsor of my Around the Horn content that will come out sometime tomorrow. So to pick up polos and more, jackets, vests, that's hornlegend.com.
We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you're trying to plan a trip that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with John. He is going to be able to help you, especially if you'll give him some parameters, give him a budget, let him give you some options that you probably won't find on your own. 901-494-3387, or send him an email, jedwards@regencytravel.net. I get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and offer MedSync to fill your prescriptions the same time each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it with G&M. So again, that's 662-236-2222. Reading from the stream. Doors rule. Americans don't like losing to the world in anything. I don't care if we're playing checkers. Let's see. Some people not even having any idea what it was last night. I mean, Wicked Brew's right here. He says the rest of the teams from the WBC took it very seriously. The U.S. players just seem to not.
All those Italians took it very seriously, man.
Yeah.
That's going back to Napoli and Milan and Rome today.
I do think the Italians were able to use the chip on shoulder, though, because you're the number 2 American team in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, hey, no.
You should have been on the American team.
Yeah. I mean, that's what that was. That actually was. Yeah. No, I mean, look, I'm not. I mean, again, whatever.
I watched some of it. It was fine. It was good baseball.
a couple different things. One, I completely agree with you about like Scooble. Like, I'm not going to injure myself over this. Like, I'm either ready or I'm not. There's no doubt about that.
If I'm the Tigers, I can't. He can't go get hurt right now because one of two things are going to happen if you're Detroit. He's either going to be so good that you make a playoff run that you're going to have a hard time making when you don't have him anymore, or you're not going to be in it at the end of July, and you are going to have an auction for him. And you can only auction him for the most if he's healthy.
And then I guess the one counter to anything you said, and again, this is not important or serious, it's just having a conversation, is, yeah, but like U.S. hockey players didn't train for the Olympics either. They trained to play in the NHL, and thus it's the same situation from the U.S.-Canada thing. And I'm sure Canada was plenty pissed off on losing the gold medal to the U.S. in that game. I think it's a lot of things. I think we're clinging for patriotism in some way because our country is so weird right now. When you get a chance to actually just be united without the crap, I think that's a salve for a lot of people. I think that it's 250th anniversary. I think that's brought more people into the fold of some patriotism right now to some degree. I think anytime there's a bracket in U.S. on your chest, you have a certain number of people that just get really into it for whatever reason and don't want to lose, especially in baseball. That it's not our national pastime now is football, but the history of the sport in every way. And look, there's two schools of thought, and there's not a right one. So this is not in any way a criticism. You are incredibly pragmatic when it comes to anything that does not increase your wealth potential. Like, you're not for finishing your college football career with a bowl game or something or whatnot or anything along those lines. We just have simply a different philosophy on that type of thing that's not right or wrong in any capacity. I think this, in some ways, falls into that block of thought as we're having this conversation. Kind of how I read it. Let's see. I do kind of agree here, though, not on the screw part, but if you're not going to, like, if you're going to shut down, just don't take the team anyway. I'd be more, I actually think somebody who should take the roster spot is willing to play by the rules as assigned. I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of guys turned it down.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I'm good with that. Completely fine. Hey, I'm not in a place here to fulfill, but I feel like DeRosa's roster should have had a group of people willing to pitch or play to whatever extent the rules allowed, within reason, obviously. The mandated stuff did kind of go, okay, but just don't take it then. I mean, to be like a golfer going, hey, I'm going to join the Ryder Cup, but I'm only playing in the singles match on Sunday. It's like, well.
Yeah. Sure. I completely agree with that. It's one of the reasons that having it in March like this, when players for a long time, really since the beginning of baseball, this is ramp up time. You're not ready to go. If you go to a spring training game early in spring training, the starters only play for about 3 innings. Mm-hmm. If you go to a spring training game at the end of spring training, they play 6-7 innings. But if you go to a game, March the 5th in Arizona or Florida, and you go to see the Yankees, Judge is going to get a couple of at-bats, and he's getting out of there. He's not ready. He's going to go there. It's a methodical thing. Garrett Cole, when he's healthy, his start's going to be about 2 innings. And he's working his way up,
I don't know who they pissed off, just quickly as we're finishing. The Ole Miss softball team gets Oklahoma this weekend. They are starting their conference season with Alabama, Texas, and Oklahoma, which are ranked 2, 4, and 6 in the top 25. We talk a lot about the Ole Miss baseball schedule, but good God, at the softball schedule for Ole Miss as they get started. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were like, hey, I don't think they're terrible, and like 1-14 in the league is on the table for the first 5 weeks. I mean, it is brutal. It's nothing but top 10 teams. So I guess buckle up because I was watching the scores because, again, they were in Austin, kind of a weird thing with the Ole Miss last week. And the baseball team, they didn't really, it wasn't about who was winning, but the baseball ops staff needed the softball game to end because all the video equipment was over there. They didn't have a full other set, and they needed it to come back over. And there was a lot of discussion about softball regarding the resources that were going on for the event in the moment.
Was the softball facility near the baseball facility?
Yeah, it's like right across the way, kind of like right there. Yeah, so it's not far.
What kind of crowds did for softball? Do you know?
I have no idea. I think they get pretty good crowds. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's pretty good. All right, we will be back tomorrow. Well, assuming we'll talk to Jeffrey in the morning, and Ole Miss starts its baseball series tomorrow. Ole Miss and Kentucky again. Kind of a weird needed series for the Rebels this weekend against the Wildcats. So we'll have that conversation more at Rebels 24/7 as the day moves on, and we'll talk to you again. Take care.